Takes me a minute.
All right. Happy Easter Sunday, everybody. Hope everybody out there is having a good day. And thank you for tuning in and joining us for a little bit of Jiu-Jitsu fundamentals virtually today. We had some good success in yesterday's class using the chat feature to get some questions asked and answered in real time. I think that's always the best way to go about it because it's fresh in our mind. We know what question we want to ask, and so let's get it out there right away. And it lets us get that question answered seamlessly, also in real time, right in the video, right in the live stream. And I think that's a lot more effective than trying to come back and answer any questions in a second video, which we can of course do, but it's nice to just get it hammered out and get it done first time. So yesterday we covered our first virtual class on closed guard, and we're going to go ahead and continue with that theme for today. Again, the closed guard is, I think, the most iconic position of Jiu-Jitsu, and I think you can make a strong case that the guard in general is one of the big things that separates Jiu-Jitsu from a lot of other grappling arts. Almost every other grappling art has various takedowns and pins and controls and things like that, but the ability to fight off of your back is what has really separated Jiu-Jitsu from everything else, I think, and so the guard is really what lets us do that. Okay? So a quick recap of that in case anybody out there is not somebody who trains in Jiu-Jitsu. Will give a quick recap. So the closed guard is what we're talking about, which is where if I'm on the bottom, I'm going to try to have my legs all the way wrapped around my partner's lower ribs or waist areas. This is our closed guard, or sometimes we'll call it a full guard. Okay. What would be one step better for Mira and one step worse for me typically is if Mira advances to the half guard. So she'll escape one of my legs. I'll still have one of her legs, but we'll spin so we're about 45 degrees this way. So you can see I still have one of her legs, and this is what we would call a half guard. Okay? And then when things get really bad for me on the bottom is when Mira frees both of her legs from my control and gets to either we call this a side controlled position where she has a chest to chest pin and my legs don't have any control of her body, or she goes to the full mount where she's on the top position and her legs are on the outside. So again, my legs don't have any control of her body. So this is not a good spot to be in if you're on the bottom, be it in Jiu-Jitsu or MMA or self-defense situation. Yeah, that's probably what she's been paid to do this whole time. Okay. So going back to the guard. Thank you guys for signing in. We had a few folks sign in already. So going back to the guard. Again, we wanted to review the ranges that we talked about. So if Mira's in my closed guard, but she's up really tall, that's her ideal. If she's within my closed guard and it's the worst for me, I want to try to have her in a position where she's more kind of broken down, and at the highest, I want her to be in a range where I can easily get a grip on the back of her neck or her head. So let's take a look at this here. So if we're in the closed guard, what I really want is for Mira to be down low enough that it's easy for me to make a grip on the back of her head or neck right here. Okay? So she could be up a little bit taller, and I can still have a grip, and this is still okay. But if she gets up so much that I can't make a grip on the back of her head or her neck, that's too tall. I don't have a lot that I can do from here, and so what I need to do is I need to fix that. Okay? And what we did to fix that last time was I'm going to try to get the inside position with my hands. I'm going to pull with my legs so she's got to come down, and then I'm going to get that grip on her head. And a lot of times she'll be trying to, push on my stomach, try to do all this stuff to come back up. Okay? So we did that in yesterday's class, and we'll go ahead and repeat that now, but we're going to go into a different attack for today. Okay? So again, I'm going to go like this. I'm going to break Mira down. I'm going to hold the back of her head. As she's starting to push, trying to climb her way back up, she's got to push on my body at some point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make her control of one of her wrists. Okay? And I want the wrist to be the opposite one of the head that I have. Okay? So once I've got this wrist, now I'm in pretty good shape. I can start to do a bunch of controls. And it's not a bad idea to start to climb your guard a little bit higher from here and try to use your legs to keep her posture broken down. Okay? Now, there can be some battles that happen where she's trying to get up and I'm trying to hold her down. And the good news is I have my legs to help me, and gravity's on my side. She has to fight against gravity to try to get back up. So one thing that will happen is the person on top starts to get tired with this. They start to get a little exhausted, and maybe they just like chill for a second. They drop their head. They're like, oh, let me catch my breath. So that's going to be a good moment for me to try to do this move. So I'm going to switch from the wrists and the head to both wrists. Okay, so I'm going to hold both wrists for a moment. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to push one of Mira's wrists right to her belly button as I try to extend the other one as close to my face as I can. As I'm doing that, I unlock my legs, and then I relock them, but now only one of her arms is in there. We'll turn about 45 degrees so the camera can see. Okay, so I've got both of her wrists. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to push one wrist to the knot on her belt, and I'm going to pull the other one up toward my face. Then I can go ahead and unlock, and then I'm going to relock, and now she only has one arm in here. Okay, so this is going to be the first stage of me getting my triangle choke. Okay? From this position, I really want to make sure Mira's head stays down. So I like to make sure that I've got both of my hands holding her head down and because she'll try to like be like a bull trying to buck me off, just throw me every which way. So I need to try to keep this down. Okay? From there, my right hand, which is the side of this same arm that she's got extended right here, okay? My right hand is going to grab my ankle. You guys see that grip right there? And that way I still maintain a closed loop. And my foot can go to her hip, so I can turn and look into her ear. And then I'm going to finish my figure four choke, pinch my knees together, and she's going to tap. Or she taps me right in the face again. So that's going to be our basic triangle choke. Okay, so let's look at that one more time. Okay? And let's spin so that they can almost see it straight on at the camera. Okay? All right, so I've got both of Mira's wrists right here. I'm going to push one to the knot on her belt, and I'm going to pull the other one towards me. And I want to make her hands as far apart as possible, because that's going to help keep her posture broken down and keep her off balance. Okay? As I'm doing that, I'm going to unlock my legs and then relock them over the top. Now, I don't have a very good triangle choke yet. I need to adjust it. So I'm going to hold her head and sort of weather the storm if she starts to flail around a bunch. And then this hand is going to grab my shin. The shin grip lets me unlock my legs, and put my foot right on her hip bone, and I'm going to turn to the side right over here. Now I can kind of look into Mira's ear. From here, I can relock my legs. I try to roll my legs in, and I do a little squeeze to get that tap out. Okay? All right. So we're going to go ahead and have Mira give it a shot for a couple of reps. If you're following along at home and one person trains and the other doesn't train, this would be a good time for the less experienced person to go ahead and try a few reps here as well. All right, we've got a few people signed on so far. Oh, sweet. Brian and Shane are on there. How you doing, guys? Thanks for jumping in. All right, so we'll do about this 45 degree right here. Okay. So we're going to say that Mira's already got my posture down a little bit, and she's going to start by making control on both of my wrists right here. Okay? So when she's ready, she's going to push one of my wrists toward my own belly button, and she's going to pull the other one up like this. This is perfect. Okay? And now she's going to unlock her legs and then relock on the other side of my left arm. So go ahead whenever you're ready. Yeah, so she's got to lock up her legs and pull me down with her leg muscles right now. Okay? So now my reaction that she should be expecting is I want to try to get up as tall as I can. So yeah, she's going to bury my head down like this. Okay? Now, once I start to be here and get a little bit tired, what she can do is her left hand is going to grab her right ankle. Mira's left hand grabs her right ankle. Okay? And as she grabs that ankle, her left leg posts on my hip bone and helps her. You have your ankle? Your left hand gets your right ankle. Get left hand to right ankle. Okay? And now she posts on my hip bone to try to spin her head over the right here.
Good. And now she can relock her legs again. Okay? And then give a good squeeze with her legs, and she'll be looking for the choke. So, and there we go.
Good. So obviously against somebody bigger, there's a big size difference. The angle becomes really important for this. Typically, if Mira, as the smaller person, stays right in front of me, it's going to be hard for her to make this choke happen very well. So it'll be extra important that Mira emphasizes a good angle and tries to get to about like a perpendicular type of T position. So let's look at this one more time. So Mira has double wrist control. Okay. She pushes one and pulls one. Good. And she unlocks her legs. Good. And she wants to get this grip as high toward my neck as possible with her legs. Perfect. Okay. So now, her left hand is going to get her own right ankle. Her left hand gets her own right ankle. Okay. And now she's going to put her left foot onto my hip and try to scoot her head way over here, way over more, way over more, way over more. Okay. And now she's ready to make her left leg go right where her hand is right now. So her leg goes on the top. Okay? And she tries to get the back of her left knee right below, she tries to put her right shin bone and her knee pit on her other side. So make that the best you can. And then there's the side. That one felt a lot tighter to me. I'm sure if I could see all the ins and outs, I could probably give Mira, even a few more tips to help it out. But that's sort of the nature of this is, right? You know, it takes a lot of reps and a lot of practice and some coaching to get the hang of this stuff for sure. So, but I already felt that the first one was a lot looser and that second one was actually a lot tighter. I felt the artery being cut off and everything there. So that's our nuts and bolts of the basic triangle choke. Let's look. I'll do one more on Mira, and I'm going to just kind of walk through a couple of details here, and then we're going to look at one more set. So we'll go to about a 45-degree Mira. All right. So remember that the neck has arteries on both the left and right side, and ideally I'm trying to cut off the blood flow through both of those arteries. Hands off the neck. So what I'm looking to do, so I want to make my leg flush right against her neck right here. Sorry, 1 second. What in the world is this?
It's like a pin in your knee. Yeah, there's like a sewing.
That's a first, and certainly nothing that I've ever had happen on a live class before. So I'm just going to go no-gi.
Yeah.
I've got, I think from when they put the patch on my gi.
Sticking out.
Oh yeah, that's not good.
Fire.
You guys, you see that? That's a big metal pokey thing that was just sticking into my back just now. I don't know how in the world that happened, but I will probably not be going back to that alteration shop anymore. You guys see that? I was just digging into me right there. So, all right. Okay, so I'm going to go no-gi for the rest of this one. Okay. All right, so back to our triangle choke. All right, so I push, I pull, I come here. So the neck has arteries on both sides. I really want to get this first side completely closed off. If I leave an air gap here, then there's going to be no way I can actually get this choke. Okay? So I need to make sure that my leg is flush right on there. And then I'm going to go ahead and hold my ankle and put my foot on her hip pointer so I can turn, and her own left arm is now going to be the one kind of cutting off the artery on the other side, and I really try to rotate my leg into it to get that tap. Yeah. You know, if they cough a bunch, that you did it fairly well. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and look at one of my other favorite setups for this one. And again, with the nature of this being very much a fundamentals class, this is one of my favorite classes and techniques to teach, because I think it has a very obvious
self-defense application to it, and so we're going to look at that too. And so if Mira is on the bottom position here, that was fine. If she's on the bottom position here, and we're talking about using jiu-jitsu in like a self-defense situation or in like MMA, one of the things she really has to, of course, be aware of is somebody trying to punch her. They're going to wind up and try to blast the crap out of her, and we need to have an answer for that, right? That's the whole idea behind this, is we want to be able to protect ourselves. So if we trade top-bottom again, we trade top-bottom. So I've got the closed guard. If I see that Mira's trying to wind up and throw a big punch at me, I'm going to put the palms of my hands on my own temples right here, and as she's punching, I'm going to pull her in. And now I can collect this arm, and so she can't really punch very well with that arm anymore. Okay? If she tried to punch me with her right arm, it would be very difficult. She has her left arm free, but we're going to talk about that. Okay? And so it's spinning this way. Okay? So now I'm trying to block her bicep right here. Okay? I'm trying to block her bicep, putting it kind of right on that embroidery right there. That way, if she tried to punch me with that arm, it would also be pretty difficult too. And as soon as I can, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a switch where my knee is going to go right to that bicep, and I'm going to control her wrist down here. You guys see how I've got her wrist controlled just like this? Okay? And then what's going to keep her pinned down is my leg is going to come up and be over the top, like this. So she should feel pretty stuck. Okay? Now, if she's actually fighting back, she's still trying to get up and get her posture. And so that sort of is what we're expecting. So for me to go into my choke, here's what's going to happen. Is I need to scoot away from her a little bit. So I need to make my butt go away from her. And Mary, you're still trying to get up, remember? Yep. Relax. So we want to imagine that our partner's fighting back. This one thing, it's a little bit hard with my partner. Right now, I feel like Mira's sort of flopping down onto her stomach. And so if we're actually fighting, she's probably still trying to come at me a little bit, right? Yeah, something like this. And so what I'm looking to do is I'm trying to slip my foot to her bicep. Here, relaxing. I'm trying to slip my foot to her bicep and then over the top, right into my triangle choke there. Right? So that might be a bit much if you're a first-timer. Feel free to practice. I'll show another rep or two. But I want you to at least kind of see how all these things could tie together. But the one thing that you should practice for sure if you're new at this is this block, right? So as Mira tries to throw a big right punch, I'm going to cover up, and I'm going to collect her arm. So I'm kind of coming. I tried to wear a white gi so you guys could see, but that was before the pin thing came. So I'm covering her arm here, and then I'm holding her head down. Then I'm going to scoot to an angle, and that's where I'm going to get control of this other arm too. So now I've got pretty good. So don't try to pull away. That's not why you're hurting yourself. Just relax right there. So I've got my shin right in there, and then I've got the wrist control. And now there's a bunch of things that I can do from here, but the most important is that she can't punch me anymore. If she tried to punch me with either hand, go ahead and try. It would be pretty much impossible for her to do. Okay, so one more time going into the triangle choke. I want to try to scoot away, but I'm trying to keep my head kind of close to Mira's head. And what that's going to let me do is, imagine I'm still holding this arm, but I'm going to be able to slide my foot just for a second to this biceps and then slide over right into that same choke. Okay? And so that's probably a little bit much for, again, if you're a first timer, but I'm going to have Mira just do the punch block a couple of times here. So Mira's going to go on the bottom. And obviously most people are right-handed, and so it's probably a fair thing to expect that, you know, somebody's first punch is going to try to be a big right-hand punch. So what Mira's going to do is going to take the bottom of her hands and put them on her temples right here, okay? And then as I'm coming to punch, she's going to make sure that her elbows are close so I can't get in the middle there. And she's going to pull her knees to her chest. Pull hard, pull hard, pull hard. Yes, and my hand goes to the mat. Right away she covers it up. And she's going to go ahead and start blocking this arm to whatever degree she can. Okay? Now, I'm still higher than her. My head is higher than her. And so what Mira wants to do now is scoot so her back faces the camera, so she'll be on her right side.
Even more. Turn all the way onto her side. Yes, like this. You see how her back is up off of the mat now. What that's going to let her do is put her chin into my bicep over here and hold my wrist. And now her head is up even with me. She's going to try to keep her left shoulder high off the mat. And now she's pretty even. I'm pretty stuck, right? I'm pretty stuck in this position. All right, let's rotate and we'll show one from another angle here. All right, and again, guys, if you're watching and if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat and we'll try to get those answered in the next few minutes just to let Mira get 1 or 2 more reps in here. Okay, so I throw a big punch. She pulls her knees to her chest, wraps my arm up. She wants to scoot onto her left side, onto her right side. Yep, there you go. And right away, she's going to be trying to put her knee into my biceps here and hold my wrist. And she wants to use a push-pull tension. So she's driving her wrist into it and pulling my wrist. And I feel very stuck right now. This is a good job by me. Okay, so we'll do one more time. All right, so Mira's ready. All right, I throw a big punch. She collects that arm, scoots to the side. Yes, and she gets this tension. Okay, so now if you wanted to try, what Mira's going to try to do is she's going to try to keep her head close to my head, but let her butt move away a little bit from my hips. Yes, like this. Now her right leg can put her foot on my bicep right here, and then it slides right over into the choke position. Perfect. And now she can do the rest of the choke. Okay, so she holds my head down. Yep, she starts to get to that angle, to that 90-degree angle. Good. You can even let this go to help you scoot. Yep. So she scoots more to 90, more to 90, more to 90. And then she locks her legs real tight. And squeeze, pull your heels to your butt. That's better. And then we get a good choke. So, all right. I think that's probably enough reps of that one for today. Let me go check in and see if there's any questions from the crew. And if there are, we'll get those answered before we move on. Oh, you got props on your nice pin. You got me there. Yeah, you submitted me with that. All right, guys. Looks like we don't have any questions so far. Although we did probably have one of the better blooper reels with that pin segment out of any class that we've had so far. So thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully that one had something for sort of all experience levels. We had something that might be a little bit more friendly for somebody just starting out, and then a review of a few more advanced things for people that might have trained a little bit. So if any questions come up after the fact, then just send them to us. You can leave them in the comments of the video that saves, or you can DM us or text us or email us or anything like that. And then next live virtual class will be Wednesday at about 11:30 local time. So thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.